Last video, I talked about why so many boys fall behind in reading and writing. Today, I'm giving you the exact comprehension tricks I use in my classroom with the most reluctant readers I teach. The ones who used to shut down the second you handed them a book. These aren't generic read more tips. They're specific things you can try tonight. Let's get into it. Quick reminder if you're new here, I'm Simone. I teach elementary and middle school English, and this channel is all about helping boys build real reading comprehension and writing skills without the fight. If you haven't seen the last video on why boys fall behind, I'll link it. But you don't need it to follow along today. Let's get straight into trick number 1. Trick 1. Turn comprehension into a challenge, not a quiz. Most comprehension questions feel like a test. What happened in chapter 3? And for a reluctant reader, that question feels like a trap, like he's about to be caught not knowing something. Instead, I flip it into a challenge. I'll say something like, bet you can't tell me one thing that surprised you in this chapter. Or, prove to me you actually read it. Tell me the most ridiculous thing that happened. Same skill, recalling and explaining what happened. But suddenly, it's a game instead of a test. Trick 2. Predict before you read, not just after. Before starting a chapter, I'll stop and ask, based on the title, what do you think happens in the story? Or, what do you think will happen in the next chapter? This does 2 things. First, it gives him a reason to actually read. He wants to see if he's right. Second, it naturally builds comprehension skills, because to predict well, he has to actually think about what he's read so far. It sounds simple, but it's one of the biggest shifts I've seen. Reluctant readers start reading to check their own theory, instead of reading because they were told to. Trick 3. Talk about the book like it's a show or a game, not schoolwork. The language we use matters more than people think. Instead of asking, what's the theme of this story? Which sounds like an exam question, I'll ask, what vibe do you get from this book? Or, how did you feel while you were reading the story? Would you recommend it to a friend? Why or why not? Same comprehension skill underneath, understanding theme, tone, and mood, but the framing feels like a conversation about something he actually enjoys, not an assignment. Trick 4. Give him a hunt, not a question. Here's how this one works. I read the book or passage myself first. Then I pick out a few simple things for him to look for while he reads, not single words, because he could just scan the page and find a word without ever actually reading it. Instead, I give him something he has to actually understand the story to recognize. Let me show you exactly what I mean with a quick example.
Malik crept along the fence line, staying low. The dog next door hadn't barked yet, which meant it hadn't seen him. He just needed to reach the shed before anyone looked out the window. His heart pounded with every step, and the gravel crunched louder than he wanted. He ducked behind an old wheelbarrow and waited, listening for any sound of movement inside the house. If I told him, find the word dog, he could scan the page, spot it, and never actually read the sentence. But instead, I'd say, find the clue that tells you Malik hasn't been spotted yet. To answer that, he can't just scan for a word. He has to actually read and understand what's happening, connect it to what the dog not barking means, and land on the answer. The dog hadn't barked yet. That single detail is the clue, but he has to reason his way to it instead of just spotting it on the page. That's the whole trick. Turn the search into something that requires real understanding, not just pattern matching on the page. So, to recap, turn comprehension into a challenge, get him predicting before he reads, give him a hunt, not a question, and talk about books the way you talk about a show or a game. None of these require a new curriculum or a big time commitment, just a shift in how you ask the question. Try one of these tonight and let me know in the comments how it goes. And if this helped, hit subscribe. Next video, I'm walking through how to turn writing into something your son actually wants to do instead of dreading it.